There's a beautiful story about a young man who was in love with a girl. He loved her so much that he decided to marry her. So he went to her parents and asked for their daughter's hand in marriage. The girl's father said, "I will give you my daughter's hand in marriage if you can do me one favor." The young man said, "Tell me what it is, and I will do it." The girl's father said, "I want you to go to the market and bring me a sack full of dates." So the young man went to the market, bought a sack full of dates, and returned home. The girl's father took the sack, went to the roof of the house, and threw most of the dates away. The young man was shocked and asked, "Why did you ask me to bring a sack full of dates, only to throw most of them away? If you had thrown the dates away yourself, I would not have accepted your proposal. But since you brought a sack full of dates, even though you knew I was going to throw most of them away, I know you're the kind of person who does everything with his whole heart, so I will give you my daughter's hand in marriage." We live in a world where bad things happen to good people, and sometimes it seems like the bad people get away with everything. But the truth is that the scales of justice are always in balance, and when they are, the rewards come in ways that are beyond description. Many years ago in India, there lived a very religious and God-fearing family. They were so religious that even when their crops failed and they had nothing to eat, they still didn't think of stealing or cheating anyone. They simply prayed to God to take care of them. One day, a Muslim preacher visited their village and told the people about the importance of charity. He explained that when we give charity, we are helping to balance the scales of justice. And when the scales are balanced, God becomes very happy and blesses us in ways that are beyond our wildest imaginations. The preacher then asked the villagers if any of them had ever given charity to a needy person and received an unexpected blessing in return. An old man from the crowd spoke up and said, "Yes, I have," he said. "Many years ago, my son was getting married, but we were so poor that we couldn't afford to buy him new clothes for his wedding. So I went to the village tailor and told him I needed some nice clothes for my son's wedding. The tailor was a kind man, and even though he knew we couldn't pay him back, he agreed to make the clothes and said, 'Don't worry about paying me back until your son gets a job.' On the day of my son's wedding, the tailor came to collect his payment, but we had nothing to give him. So I told him, 'I'm sorry, but we can't pay you back now, but please accept this goat as a gift.' The tailor was surprised, but he accepted the goat and went away happy. A few weeks after my son's wedding, he said, 'If you're a skilled tailor, you can go to the palace and apply for the job.' My son, who was a very talented tailor, went to the palace and got the job. Within a few months, he was making more money than all the other tailors combined. And with his first paycheck, he paid back the tailor the money he owed him, plus a handsome profit. Not only that, but my son also became very famous throughout the kingdom for his tailoring skills. And many rich people came to our village just to have their clothes made by him. This wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the tailor's kindness. When he gave me the clothes without expecting payment, he helped balance the scales of justice. And when the scales are balanced, God takes care of everything." As we continue our discussion, I want to share another story with you about a woman who ran a shelter for abandoned babies. She dedicated her life to taking care of these babies because she believed that every child deserves to be loved and cared for. She worked tirelessly, day in and day out, providing food, clothing, and most importantly, a sense of belonging for these abandoned children. One day, a social worker visited the shelter and was deeply moved by the woman's dedication and the love she had for the children. Touched by her story, the social worker promised to return the next day with some donations. True to her word, the social worker returned the next day with bags of food, clothes, and toys for the children. Over time, the donations kept coming in, allowing the woman to provide better care for the babies. But it wasn't just the donations that kept coming in. Something else happened as well. You see, when you care for others selflessly, something magical happens within you. Your heart fills with a sense of purpose and fulfillment that you can't find anywhere else. It's like a fire that burns away all your worries and leaves you feeling lighter and happier than you've ever been before. And that's exactly what happened to the woman running the baby shelter. As she continued to care for the abandoned babies, she began to feel a sense of inner peace and joy that she had never experienced before. It was as if the love and gratitude of the children were washing away all her troubles and replacing them with happiness. She no longer felt the weight of her past mistakes or the loneliness that had plagued her for so long. Instead, she was surrounded by the laughter and joy of the children, which filled her heart with a sense of belonging and love. Now, I do untell you these stories to make you feel guilty about your past mistakes, or to remind you of the suffering of others. Instead, I want to show you the incredible power of caring for others. When you focus on the needs of others and try to make a positive impact in their lives, something amazing happens. You forget about your own problems and feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment that's hard to describe. Think about the people in your life who bring you the most joy and happiness. Maybe it's your family and friends, or maybe it's the work you do or the hobbies you enjoy. Whatever it is, take a moment to appreciate the positive impact they have on your life. And then think about how you can use that same energy to make a difference in the world. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something as simple as volunteering at a local charity, or just being a good friend to someone who needs it. The point is to focus on the positive impact you can have on others, and to let that be your guiding light. When you do this, you'll start to see the world in a new way. You'll notice all the good things in your life and feel a sense of gratitude and happiness that you've never felt before. It's like a ripple effect. When you do something good for someone else, it creates a ripple that spreads outward, touching the lives of everyone around you. So if you're feeling lost or unhappy, try focusing on the positive impact you can have on the world. It might just be the cure for your troubled heart. Years ago, there lived a very selfish and greedy man who never thought about the needs of others. He was so focused on acquiring more wealth and power that he did uncare about the suffering of those around him. But one day, everything changed. The man was walking down the street when he saw a beggar holding out his hand. The beggar was dirty and smelly, and the man felt a surge of disgust. But then he remembered the words of a wise man he had once heard. When you give to the poor, you are truly giving to God. Intrigued by these words, the man decided to give the beggar some money. At first, it was just a small amount, but as the days went by, he found himself giving more and more to those in need. He started visiting orphanages and donating money and supplies. He began to feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment that he had never felt before. But it wasn't just about the good deeds. It was also about the positive impact it had on his own life. The man was amazed by the gratitude and love he received from those he helped, and it made him realize that true happiness doesn't come from acquiring more stuff, but from making a positive impact on the world. This man's story is a powerful reminder that when we focus on the needs of others, we not only make the world a better place, but we also enrich our own lives with meaning and happiness. It's a win-win situation. So if you're feeling unfulfilled or unhappy, try focusing on the needs of those around you. You might just be surprised by the positive impact it has on your life.